Good afternoon and welcome to the Developer Show, a program where we showcase up-and-coming developments, talk investments, and discuss more about how you can enjoy the splendor of this latest development, Montpellier. My name is Chad and I'll be your host. And today we are joined by David Lewis, who is the Head of Developments for Sandton. David, how are you doing today?
Very good, thanks, Chad. How are you?
I can't complain whatsoever. At least it is warming up, and to me that makes the biggest difference.
As soon as the sun comes out, I'm a completely different man, much happier.
100%. So before we cut to Montpellier and we talk about that, can you tell me a bit about yourself, tell me about your team, and tell me what people can expect if they get into business with Sandton?
I can, with pleasure. But first off, let me thank you for this opportunity. It's a wonderful association we have with private property, and I can't wait to actually showcase my development through you guys, even more than what we already do.
It is more than a pleasure.
Okay, I head up the developments division of Sandton. I've been the head for about 7 years now, and I started off just as an agent and took over the division, like I said, 7 years ago. What we do is we focus really on the whole spectrum with developments. So we source land for developers, we assist even with the town planning. We've got an attorney firm on board with us, that's our sister company. They can assist with, like I said, all the town planning, drafting offer to purchase documents, opening sectional title registers, the whole works. We really offer a complete package on that side. With regards to SEEF as a brand, you know, not much more needs to be said. We've been around for 53 years, if I'm not mistaken. We have one incredible name in the industry, and we are very proud of it. I'm very proud to be associated with SEEF. Yeah.
There really isn't much more to be said about SEEF, I will admit. I think it is one of the biggest brands here. And I think everybody getting into business with SEEF knows that to be in business for such a long time, I mean, that's half a century, you've got to be bringing quality to the board.
Quality, and where I actually really like the brand is we focus a lot on honesty and integrity. You know, I'm all about, even if you've got bad news to tell, you tell it. You just got to be honest with your clients and build up that level of trust, which I believe we do as a brand and have done for the last 50 plus years. So I cannot speak highly enough for the brand. It's the only brand I've ever worked with in property. I will not work with another brand, and I'm very happy there.
Well, I'm very excited to get us, to let us jump into this development, the development of our Montpellier, which I think does invoke thoughts of rolling hills in France, and I believe the name was inspired by a city in France, you were telling me. So let's talk a bit about it. Tell me a bit about Montpellier. Tell me what the name's about, and talk to me a little bit more about it.
Well, from my understanding, one of the developers is he's been in South Africa for a very, very long time. I think close to 30 odd years, but he's originally born in the region of Montpellier in France, and so it's a namesake and a tribute to where he's from. The developer himself, like I said, he's been developing for 30 odd years. He's done, I think Montpellier's 38th project that he's busy with, so he's been around the block. Mostly South African. Let's actually change that. 100% South African. The builder is proudly South African as well, and I think that that's important at the moment. You know, supporting local, even as far as where you buy your house from. It's important to push the local economy as much as you can.
100%. So Montpellier is it's situated in 4 ways. Am I correct?
That's correct.
And can you tell me? Yeah.
Sure. Yeah. No, carry on.
I was going to say, what was the thought process behind putting it in 4 ways?
Well, 4 ways is a very much developing node at the moment. You know, there's been a lot of infrastructure upgrade. The roads have been widened. The services have been improved in the area. There's been a huge development in the 4 ways mall. If I'm not mistaken, I think that's about the biggest mall in the country now. There's a lot of talk at the moment of a Gautrain station going in there. So it really is an up and coming node where you can realize good capital gain over a long term in an area like Craigavon.
That was just what I was about to ask you, actually, when you mentioned capital gain. For somebody looking to purchase into Montpellier as an investment, how does the 4 ways mall development and possibly stay in city affect the property prices of this specific kind of development?
Well, it really, if you know, property is a long-term game, really. You know, there's very few people that have the knowledge and the experience to be able to make a quick turnaround profit in property. So if you're going to be buying your home for you to live in, you know, we're targeting really first time, second time buyers over here, and they're going to be setting down roots and they're interested in the schools in the area. So over a long term, you're definitely going to realize a very decent capital gain, especially with the talk of a car train coming in, the transport, the access to transport systems. Just down the road, like you mentioned, we've got the golf estate as well. So I can imagine that over the long term, you are going to realize a very good capital gain. Investors are also going to be interested in it because of the schools. There's a lot of demand for tenancy in the area. We've got Crawford School just up the road. There's Four Ways High. So Four Ways Life Hospital is just right behind us as well. It's everything. If you actually really wanted to, you could walk the distance.
You mentioned to me something very interesting as well when we were speaking just before this interview, in that the price point that you've marketed this development, and if you could just repeat it once we've done with this question, was a very big thought process for you when you chose the price point.
100%. So what we wanted to do is actually sell homes to a good quality, good value for money product. So the price point we pegged for the area starting at around about 2 million rand, going up to about 2.5, which we believe is perfect value for the area. There's many properties in Craigavon selling the 3s, the 4s. So the area itself can handle the price point quite easily. And what we want to do is actually drive people into the area and make use of the amenities which are around.
Can I ask you now another question, which would be, when we look at these units, you've mentioned the amount of units are available. Can you tell me a bit more about the units? Can you tell me what amenities are available also within the complex?
Okay, what we've gone for is not so much an amenity-driven complex, especially on full title complexes. It's very tough to. It's impractical really to put clubhouses and swimming pools or communal swimming pools, communal gyms, things like that. Because the whole idea is everybody has their stand, has their home, and they put into their property what they want to put in. It's different when you're operating a sectional title development. It's easier, it's more practical for these body corporates to run funds and influence the levies like that. What we've rather gone for is low cost, low maintenance living. So if you want a swimming pool, with pleasure, let's put one in on your stand. It's your own private pool. You can have your neighbors around to have a bra, and you can operate it more like that. Full title, one big plus to it is the fact that we are going to be keeping the levies very low in the complex. We don't have to create funds for painting and maintenance of exterior buildings and things like that. When it's time for you to paint your house, that's your cost. You bear it, and it's a matter of excuse me. So it's a matter of you creating those funds within yourself to be able to handle it.
Full title also, I believe, gives you quite a lot more control over how you'd like to expand your premises as your family probably grows.
100%, it actually really does. So, you still have to abide by the complex rules and regulations, which will be set out. You can't just go ahead and paint your house bright red when everybody else is grey. But if you want to grow your home, it's a matter of you appoint your contractor, you get your plan submitted, you do everything that you want to do within the law and within the rules. It's a lot more user-friendly, let's put it that way.
What phase are you in now with Montpellier?
So what we are doing is we are yet to break ground. We're waiting still for one document from the council, which we're hoping to get within the next month. And we should be able to break ground around about September and aim to deliver the first homes around about March, April next year.
It's a very, very good timeline.
I think so as well. It's about 8 to 9 months to build. I always say to my clients that they should budget in for a little bit of a delay. You never know what could happen. It could rain for a month. Could be put back into lockdown. We don't know, and these types of things are out of our control. It's out of everyone's control. So it's best to actually, for your budgeting purposes, allow for a bit more of a delay. I try and give you the most accurate date that I possibly can, and I'm updating you all the time as to whether or not we're expecting a delay or whether we're going to deliver earlier. But it is possible. That is our target, is around about March, April next year to start delivering homes.
The fact that you haven't broken ground yet must still open up quite a bit of possibilities in terms of the customization of the unit themselves. How much of that customization will you take responsibility for, and how much of it is something that the customer will need to do at a later date?
100%. So, what we want to do is, I always say, we want to sell you your home, not our home. And if you want to buy exactly what you want, you really need to build it. It's impossible really in the market to go look at second-hand properties and try and find exactly what you want. So there is flexibility to manipulate the floor plan, change it, change the layout. As long as the exterior look and feel stays the same, the interior layout, you know, let's sit down with the architect and make these changes for you. If you want to change what the standard spec is for your kitchen or for your tiles or for your bathroom or anything like that, I always say, go past Tiletoria. You're more than welcome to go have a look at their showroom. If you want to rather have that tile that you see in their showroom there, it's a matter of just a quick swap out, let the developer know, and provide the tiles. It's quick and easy. It's a great thing. It's a great thing buying stand because you actually have that flexibility.
Absolutely. What kind of amenities can they, well, not actually amenities, what kind of finishes can a customer expect within these houses?
It's a good quality finish. It's not your most high end that you'd find in your Hyde Parks and in your Sandhurst areas. It's tailored for the area, so it's a good quality 600 by 600 tile, granite tops in the kitchens, frameless showers, Hansgrohe taps. It's a very good quality finish that's gone in there. It's going in there.
It seems like an incredible development. I'm very, very keen to take a look at some of the photos when we take that break. But just before we do, you've got quite a storied history in the development industry and in the real estate industry with 7 years experience. And I'd love to hear your take on what the pros of purchasing a development is over just purchasing a normal house. Why would somebody steer towards a development?
Well, as I've said already, the biggest pro for me is actually not so much the fact that, or one of the pros is that you're dodging the transfer duty. But for me, the biggest pro is you actually get to be a part of building your home. I've had so many requests from clients over the years, you know, that have religious beliefs. They want to bury a piece of gold in the foundations. You have that freedom, you have that flexibility to be able to build exactly what you want, how you want. And we always try and align ourselves with developers that want to work with the clients, you know, not afraid to actually meet with clients, establish a relationship. You know, it's a long path you're going to be walking with the developer, with myself, and with the buyer. And, you know, everybody eventually develops a very good relationship over the period of time. And that for me is the biggest pro. Other pros, like I said, you dodge the transfer duty, which is always a big plus. It's a part of your home that you can, it's a part of your budget that you don't actually have to allow anything for. And you can rather actually put that money into your home. You know, it's on a development like Montpellier, it's possible to get 100% bond. So you can buy the property here at Montpellier with 50,000 Rand in your pocket. That just covers the transfer costs with the attorneys and your bond registration costs. Other than that, you can bond the whole thing.
Well, let us take a look at Montpellier. Let's take a quick break. We will be right back, and everybody enjoy what is coming up next. Thank you very much. Good afternoon and welcome back to the Developer Show. My name is Chad and I'll be your host. And today I am joined by David Lewis, who is the Head of Developments for Sandton, and he is presenting us with their brand new offering, Montpellier, which is located in Fourways. David, thank you so much for taking some time out and joining us today again.
It's a pleasure. Thanks for having me.
It is more than a pleasure. David, we were speaking about something very interesting before we took the break, and you had mentioned 100% bond on Montpellier. Tell me, what is the likelihood of getting such a bond now compared to previously before COVID hit? I'm sure the repo rate must tie into this somewhat. And now compared to maybe a couple of months, a couple of years in the future?
Well, Chad, the banks are always changing what they call their LTVs, their loan to value ratios. And for about the last year, 18 months, on quite a few of our projects, we've been able to secure quite a few 100% bonds, provided the affordability and the credit checks and the client qualify for it, which actually you'd be surprised so many actually do. The banks at the moment seem very eager to lend. We've managed to secure 100% bonds. I think 6 or 7 of them now at Montpellier alone. So I would say that the repo rate and the lower interest rates have only really helped people afford to be able to qualify for these 100% bonds. You know, since the interest rates have come down dramatically, I cannot even express to you how busy we've been. I have not been this busy in property for a very long time, 3-4 years. So it really is a great time at the moment to be involved in these developments.
So if anything now during this COVID crisis is one of the best times to purchase properties, just even from a capital gains point of view, the kind of money you're spending now compared to what you might be able to make in the future.
100%. I think it's a great time at the moment to buy. With these interest rates being so low, you can get into the property market. It's allowing people to rather not rent, and they're actually getting better value buying a property at the moment. And rather, instead of paying the rent to somebody else, put that money that you're paying every month into your bond. And invest in something. I always say when you're paying your bond, you're not paying, although it's an expense, it's coming off your bank account every month. You're paying yourself. It's an investment over time. You're not paying it to somebody else. So it is an expense, but me personally, I actually don't qualify it as really an expense. It's more of an investment every single month.
While we're talking about investments, could you expand on me for somebody who's looking to invest into property today? We've obviously spoken that this is a very good time to invest into property, but what are the tips and what are the things that somebody should keep in mind before going into investing into property? From a point of view of affordability, from a point of view of due diligence, what should people be looking at?
People should really take their time and actually browse private property, browse SEEF.com, go and have a look at all of at what's available on the market. Go chat to agents. They're always happy to speak to you and get the advice of the agents in the street. Come and chat to me, come and chat to the developers, and get so that everybody can have an understanding of exactly what you're looking for. And then once you've actually found something that appeals to you, go chat to a bond originator, get pre-qualified. Another company that we have a very close sister-like relationship with is Uber. Uber will qualify you with pleasure. They'll send you a certificate and tell you what your affordability is based on your current income and expenses, and then only then going into the property market.
So really, people shouldn't look at SEEF as an endpoint, as in I want to buy a house now, I must contact SEEF. People should look at SEEF as somebody who's very, very willing to sit down and help you through any process. I can walk into a SEEF office, sit down with one of the agents and say, look, I'm looking to invest into property. Let's talk about this. And will they then say to me, okay, well, what's your budget? What's your affordability? Yeah, your options.
100%. We want to try and understand what our buyers want more than anything, so that we can actually service you, put a smile on your face, and deliver a good, honest, quality service. So it's never ever a waste of our time or anything like that. We love chatting to buyers. We want people to come and pick up the phone, send me a WhatsApp, send me an email, send me anything. I'm always available to chat to people and give them the best advice what I can possibly give.
So I think is almost invaluable in this day and age, because you tend to be able to find so much advice online. It's very difficult to find out what advice applies to you specifically. And to know that SEEF is there to sit down with and chat through, regardless of whether or not you're willing to or able to purchase a property now, I think is absolutely fantastic.
100%. Even if you're not ready to purchase now, come chat, and get the advice of an agent as to what you can expect 2, 3, 4 years down the line. These agents, and myself included, we study our areas that we work in. We know them very, very well. And if we don't know something, it's not too much effort for me to go and do the research for you. And then I'll pick up the phone and I say, look, based on what you want, this is what I suggest.
We also spoke about something else just before we took the break, and that was how much of a driver's seat you and SEEF and the development team within SEEF take when sourcing, I guess, not only the contractors, but also the land you do developments in. And can you just talk to me about the pros or the reasoning behind that? Why is it so important that the people you're purchasing a development from take more of a hand in the whole development of, for lack of a better term, the development?
It's always best for the marketing purposes, even, if SEEF get involved from day one. Like I say, we're the agents that are in the coalface. We're the ones that are talking to buyers. We're the ones that understand what the market wants. So if developers want to do a new project, they have to go and have a chat to agents, see what the market there is delivering before they actually go and even purchase the land, start the town planning, do anything like that. It's best to consult with an agent, let the agent get involved from day one. I cannot tell you how many times a developer has come to me with a project that may make great sense on a spreadsheet, but in the market it does not actually work because it's impractical. This is not what the market is looking for. For example, since COVID, one thing that we've seen an increase in demand is for a space inside the house for a little home office. It's becoming a necessity now because a lot more people are working from home, and a lot of developers don't actually accommodate for that. To be fair, we're starting to accommodate for it at Montpellier. If buyers need it, there's always a way to manipulate the plan and put a little space in for you. So it's very important for developers to get involved with C from day one, literally from day one.
If I was a developer and I wanted to approach you and maybe pitch a development, what is the vetting process? Are you open to any developers that come to you? Do you reuse the same group of developers, or is there a specific vetting process any developer that approaches you needs to go through?
Well, yes, we don't just actually associate our brand and our history with anybody. It's not to say that we won't give a first-time developer a chance or anything like that, but it's a matter of establishing a relationship, doing a vetting process on them, seeing how much they know about the industry as well, and taking it from there. A new developer can come to me and say to me, Dave, I don't have any development experience. I'm looking to buy land. What I generally then try and do is actually put him into touch with some of our existing developers that have a great track record, and maybe we can get a relationship going where they can become investors in the project or in another project with an experienced developer. That's a better route that I would rather take with someone along those lines.
Oh, thank you very much. Very, very interesting topic there. I wanted to cycle back to these units. And can you just tell me what unit types are available as well as the price points associated with those unit types?
100%. So at Montpellier at the moment, we actually only have 1 2-bedroom unit still available. That's coming in at just under 2.1 million rand. And then we've got 3-bedroom, 2-bathroom homes, starting from what's left, 2.3, going up to most expensive at 2,650. And the size of the house is around about 200 odd square meters. Your sizes of your stands varying from about 210 squares going up to the biggest, which is 313, I think is the exact number.
Okay. And if I wanted to purchase into Montpellier with CIF, what's the process that I can expect to go through with you?
Okay, so assuming that you've seen our listing on private property, you've sent through an inquiry, first thing we do is pick up the phone, give you a call, and meet with you on site. That's very important. If possible, if you're in the country and you can actually make it out to the site, for me, that's a very important part of the process. I want you to come there, see the land, experience the area, get to know what you're buying into. We'll take you through our showroom. We've got the floor plans there. We've got all the finishes in the showroom there. I'll take you through the whole project, answer any questions you may have, ask you what you're looking for, get a better understanding to make sure that Montpellier is right for you. You never know, it might not be. So I take a lot of time and a lot of care in understanding what my clients want. From there, there is a deposit that's payable, which is refundable, provided that the full purchase price hasn't been secured and you haven't taken transfer of your land. Because once you've taken transfer of your land, it's kind of like past the point of no return. The building contract kicks in and we start building. So, but hopefully by that point onwards, you're so engrossed in the experience, and you're actually starting to plan your house, design your rooms, take it that next step further. So it's better. Excuse me. It's important that you continue your relationship with the agent the whole way through the process. I'm going to call you up. I'm going to 3 months in. I'm going to say to you, okay, come, let's go meet at the showroom. Let me take your order for your tiles, for what kitchen cupboards you want, your bedroom cupboards, everything. And I'm gonna make a little note. I'll jot down which tile you want. I'll send that off to the developer so that he can place his orders and start finishing off your home.
I will admit, hearing about the choosing of the tiles and meeting on site, it actually does bring such a big sense of excitement, building your own house almost from scratch, being able to choose those finishes, and that it's such an interesting thing to be able to go through.
Chad, I cannot tell you how rewarding it is from an agent perspective as well. When you've walked this path with this buyer for, let's call it a year, and their house is delivered and you're actually handing over the key, it's so fantastic that you actually get to experience this with them. I go to so many empty sites over over the years, and from that, all those years down the line, all my hard work, everything, to see a completed home with happy homeowners, it's such a rewarding experience. I cannot tell you, that's my favorite part of my job.
I can believe it 100%. Now, we've been speaking about Montpellier, and this is one of the developments that CEEF is offering. What other developments have you guys got on offer? How many are we looking at?
So for CEEF Sandton, we cover the entire Sandton area. So that covers from, not to say that I have projects in all of these areas, but we cover Houghton, we cover Norwood, we cover Rosebank, we cover Ethel, we cover Sandton CBD, Morningside, Bryanston, Fourways, even up into Midrand. I've had projects in the majority of those areas before, and I'm sure I'll be having quite a few more. We're planning quite a few at the moment in Bryanston, one in Hyde Park at the moment. So we do have a lot in the pipeline that's going to start coming out over the next three years even. Town planning is quite a slow process, so we're always thinking that far ahead. At the moment, I've got a high-rise building in Rosebank, Park Central. It's the tallest residential building in Rosebank. We've got cluster developments in Bryanston. In Sandown, I've got 2 cluster developments inside the Edward Rubinstein enclosure. Very beautiful homes that are going to go in there. We've got new projects coming up in Morningside as well.
And the customer can jump onto private property. If they want to deal with you, they can jump onto private property, take a look at what you've got available, whether it be Montpellier or any other development, and get in touch with you.
Please, I'll ask you to.
Fantastic. Now, on the note of private property, you guys, as well as CEEF, have got quite a long history with us. You've been marketing with us for a long time. Can you talk to me about that and how it's assisted you in doing your job in the day-to-days?
It's absolutely invaluable. What private property offers us is, I cannot speak highly enough about it. The exposure we get from private property, the facilities that are available to us through private property, the ability to prioritize our listings, to adjust our listings. Say we have a price decrease or a price increase, I can make that change in a matter of minutes. It's actually effective on the website. They're such a responsive company and so willing to help us actually market our properties in the way that we want to as well. It's such a good relationship that we have with private property.
Well, it's been an absolute pleasure dealing with CEEF Sandton. And David, seeing the enthusiasm you have with dealing with clients and taking clients through the journeys, something we've been looking for in all of our agents for such a long time. So thank you so much for joining us here. Thank you so much for taking us through this. I think everybody's going to be very, very interested in jumping on and seeing what Montpellier has to offer. For everybody who has logged in and taken this journey with us, thank you so much. And if you have any questions for any of our podcasts, please drop them in the comments. I'd be more than happy to answer them for you. Thank you once again, and goodbye.
Cheers.
Hi, I'm Nobuntu Webster. I'm an entrepreneur. I moved to Sandton to pursue a dream. I've based myself in Sandton because it's the gateway to Africa. The neighborhood of Sandton is alive. It's alive with possibility. It's got the most amazing vibe. If you need to get anything done, this is the place to get it done. One of the things I really love about Sandton is how it lights up at night. If those lights don't inspire you, nothing will. Sandton is the richest square mile in Africa. It has everything, from shopping in Sandton City to 5-star hotels like a Michelangelo for my international guests. It works for me to be here. There are so many designer stores. There's an abundance of clothes and everything else to choose from. Being an entrepreneur, I travel a lot, so it's really convenient to be able to get onto the Gau train, and in 15 minutes, I'm at the airport. Business is important to me, but my family is everything, and that's why my family and I are looking to move into one of the suburbs in Sandton. Sandton has some of the most exclusive homes in the country, in places like Hyde Park and Sandown. A little bit less fast-paced is your suburbs like Bryanston and Rivonia. Bryanston was a natural choice. It's got great open spaces, it's safe. My son's already at a really good school there. Sandton gives me great variety, from an awesome nightlife to beautiful places for lunch, to spas where I can really relax and recharge. Things happen in Sandton, and that's my neighborhood.